You guys, I get off of YouTube for 2 whole days and I come back to just nothing but drama. What did I miss? Let's get into it.
Nikki in the building, baby. Nikki in the building, baby. In Cahoots podcast. Yeah. I keep God first, that's real. True crime on the table, facts on steel. Investigations, I chase that trail. If the story don't add up, I set it straight, no fail. I spot fake tears, I spot lies. Sketchy little moves, I see through the disguise. I'm fair, I'm funny, I bring that light. I call you out, then I'll still be polite.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of In Cahoots Podcast. My name is Nikki. Before we get into the video, please help me out by hyping this video. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, all of that good stuff. Don't forget to click the join button to become a member. And thank you for all the support that you guys have shown me. I truly appreciate you guys so much. Now let's get into this. So we're going to start with DDGOTAPODCAST. You guys know I like his podcast. I think he's awesome. Today, apparently, he went live with Blake Bednarz, everybody's favorite, right? Now, I'm going to play a few clips. I want you guys to tell me what you think, but I'm going to give my input on this because it seems like DD's subscribers are not really agreeing with him. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty upset with this interview. So let's get into the first clip regarding Mel, which is she's also known as the Village Crazy Lady on X. Apparently her and Candace Owens are friends, and she's the reason why Candace Owens and Blake Bednarz even met. Let's get into it.
So did Mel reach out to you, or did you reach out to Mel? And can you prove this? Whatever your answer is, can you prove it?
Absolutely.
So before you play this video, how did you and Mel get in contact? Did you reach out to her?
Yes. This was over the jets. I was speaking with her over the jets and the drones.
Okay.
And she had just been a contact. And I was desperately trying to get anyone to listen to me, to at least just start to look into it and ask questions, because I was just going to basically hand it off and be done with it.
Okay.
Just for someone that is an actual journalist to do this.
Okay.
So that was what immediately got me in contact with Mel.
Okay.
And
why Mel? Just curious. Were you already following her? Why her?
I want to say it was because of the interaction with Candace. There was something that triggered me to actually shoot her a DM.
And while you're looking for that date, let me just say for the record that I can confirm myself personally that I've interacted with Mel before. This is no shout out to Mel because she's done some good work to help further this investigation. She's kept her foot on TPUSA's neck as well. She's not letting up, and I appreciate that. But whether it's like having that family member that's a ride or die, but they're loose by the mouth. Mel is loose. She will quickly she'll quickly go off on you. That I know for a fact. Again, she's done some good work, then added some great things to the investigation, hence why Candace has even shared her information on her show. That I can say for a fact. For a fact, I know that firsthand experience that the moment you disagree with her a little bit, I disagree with her just a little bit, and she sent me, like I talked about on my show. This was like late last year. She went off on me for like 4 or 5 messages and started calling me every name in the book. And as you all know, I don't even use profanity. I'm surrounded by everybody that uses profanity, so it's not new or foreign to me. But I'm like, dang, she started calling me the B word and mother effer, you don't know this and you're not this. And I was like, whoa. For those of you that know, Mel is a Twitter X user who works closely alongside Candace in some regard.
Now, in regards to Mel, word spreads quick because right after DD said that, Mel took to X and said this. Just tuned into the DD Got a Podcast with Blake long enough to hear this dude spew a pretty big lie about me to his audience. To be clear, I have had exactly one interaction with this dude, and it was on the timeline. he sent me a message about coming on his show, and I replied yes, but for some reason it didn't go through. I have never called him any names. In fact, to this day, I still believe I was much more gracious than I needed to be, considering this absolutely R-word misinformation he and his guests were peddling. So I don't know why you feel the need to lie about our interaction, Dee, but you need to stop. So she did post receipts. I don't know if this is the entire conversation, but here's what she posted. Basically, Dee had someone named Brian on his show. I believe he was an auditor at some point in his life. They brought up the $9.90 for TPUSA, and apparently they got some information incorrect. So Mel took to X to correct him. Hey, Village Crazy Lady, I appreciate this correction. If Brian did make this mishap, I will have him to come on and correct himself and apologize for the incorrect information, 100%. But discrediting the other 95% of bombshell information Brian shared in that interview seems a bit disingenuous and bad faith. Seriously, you seem biased in protecting Charlie's image and offended that we implicated Charlie's potential involvement. We're just trying to get to the truth. Going by your logic, then that means you don't listen to anything Candace says anymore, right? She's been wrong a couple of times, but you still share her work, don't you? Yes, you do. Because we trust Candace enough to believe she's really trying to get to the truth. Please be consistent. To that, Mel replied, that's not true at all. But if you're going to present yourself as a TPUSA auditor, which is literally the title that you gave your video, then you have to get bare bones basic sugar honey iced tea right. Everyone makes mistakes. I could have been a female dog and done a full-blown post on this error, and I didn't. I only replied after I was tagged in literally dozens of posts on it. Not sure why you're coming at me when I kept my criticism to a minimum. All the profanity is wild, Mel. I have no beef with you. Again, just because consistent. I think he meant just be consistent. You sharing it on your platform wouldn't have changed a thing, by the way. Why does it matter? The video is incredible and rooted in good faith. Most people are not going to watch that video and then change their minds about the other 95% because you rightly pointed out an error. And I appreciate you pointing that out, by the way. Again, we're just trying to get to the truth. I will have Brian to address this error. Thanks again. Peace and love. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the full exchange or if there were more things that were said, but Dee was a bit offended by her language. Mel was offended that Dee confronted her.
So, because I've already talked to Mel, okay, because I shot her all sorts of stuff on the jets and this, and I showed her some transponders turning on and off. I was the one that gave her the Egyptian plane stuff. I mean,
wait, what?
I went through, I went on to Flight Radar 24 and just played the playback and of the 10th. And I'm sitting there, all of a sudden a jet would pop up on the runway and then it would turn off.
You gave Mel the information about the Egyptian planes. How early was this?
Like the 13th, 14th ish
of September.
It was right after.
Freaking way. Can you prove that?
Right here, this is September the 15th at 4:25. I'm sending her the Egyptian jets, the 2 Egyptian jets. Right there.
Is there any words on here that says Egyptian or anything that lets us know that this is specifically the Egyptian jets?
Outside of the Egyptian flag on the back of the plane.
Ah, okay. I didn't know what the Egyptian flag looked like. What? Dude, I never knew this. Did y'all know that he was the first person, or at least the first person that I heard? This is... Hold up, man.
I'm going to be honest. I did not know that either. I mean, I somewhat followed Blake in the beginning of all of this, but I definitely did not know that. Do I think that that's where Candace got it from? No, having a hard time with that. But yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. Looking at Blake, listening to Blake, just watching his actions, ever since the beginning of all of this, it just seems like there's this intense desperation to put as much attention on Brian Harpole as possible. Each one of the podcasters that interview him, they all say the same thing. We're going to ask him the hard questions. We're going to really get into it. You know, we're going to call him out. At the end of their interaction, it seems like they're on his side because he's showing them what they feel is concrete proof. Let's say Blake is completely correct. He's not lying. He has not modified anything. This is straight truth. People are going to look at him differently and doubt everything he's doing and saying because of how he presents himself. You can't just crash out because you're not getting your way and then expect everybody to be on the same page as you. No, once that crash out happens and it starts to rub people the wrong way, they're going to completely flip. They're going to look into you, your past, or what you've done. They're going to start trying to expose you because it's like, why are you acting like that? Let's see who this guy really is. I have watched videos and lives with him just crashing out on her, questioning her, getting very angry, very upset, swinging his arms around, beat red, just mad. And he's admitted it himself that he knows that he basically has a anger issue. But in my opinion, it just doesn't make sense to think that because you didn't get your way with something, you get to crash out and then expect for that person to still want to work with you or still want to put out your footage, put out your ideas, your opinions after you just literally crashed out on them. It doesn't work that way with everybody.
Ask you though, did you threaten to pull up to another content creator's home uninvited?
He was not answering any of my phone calls and stuff. And it was absolutely a joke. Like, dude, if you're not gonna like talk to me, I'll just have to pull up.
Yeah, but you know that's crazy, right? You shouldn't tell people that unless they're like a close friend and they know that you're joking. You shouldn't do that. Can you agree with that?
I mean, he blocked me, and he's gonna go.
If somebody blocked you, but listen to this. If somebody blocked you and somebody weren't responding to you, and they just hit you and say, "Well, I'm finna pull up to your house in Texas," you got to be consistent and fair, bro. You would not like that. That's literally the point that you're making about your livelihood and your family. Is that fair?
Yeah, but I mean, there was never a threat of anything.
So you all weren't not seeing eye to eye at the time.
As he was about to go and blast all this bad stuff about me, that is absolutely just
so that gives him reason, right? But that gives him reason to believe that you're unhappy with him. So if you come to his house uninvited, that's crazy.
I just said I was gonna pull up. Like,
in my opinion, DD is trying. He's trying to be fair, but then at the same time, he is really, really trying to catch him on something. He said it himself. You know, he's looking for something to catch him up, but he has receipts on everything that he's being asked for, you know, so that kind of makes it difficult. Now, DD's chat, they're just really not feeling that too much. You know, they're thinking that DD sold out. They think that he's on Blake's side. They're telling DD, hey, you don't know the whole story. Okay, now here's where things starts to get a little sticky. The chat is super mixed. Some people are saying, heck yeah, DD, stand your ground. You know, think for yourself, as he should. Then the other part of the chat is like, oh, they got DD too. DD, you don't know the whole story. DD, you're wrong. You know, so DD kind of reacts to that.
The dude keeps coming back on when he's reading comments when he says he has to go. Again, what person would be doing that has something to hide? He has to go somewhere, but he keeps hopping back on to clear up other questions that you all have. I'm not following. You all are not gonna, what is it, peer pressure me, group think me into believing what you no. I'm gonna think for myself. If Blake comes off as a liar, I'm gonna rest on that. He's a liar. He's suspicious. I believe he's controlled op. I believe he was sent. It's not what I'm getting. I just spent 4 hours talking to this dude on camera to y'all, and I still don't get that from him. The dude seems genuine to me. Well, Didi, you don't know about his past. I don't care. I don't care. I care about what he's offering. Is this criminal? Is he doing something illegal with this? Is he being deceptive with this? I haven't found anything deceptive yet. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You came to the wrong channel if you thinking I'm participating in groupthink. Not happening. Not happening. I've been accused of defending Candace Owens. I've been accused of Candace Owens hate. It's odd. It's like, no, bro, I'm just an objective person.
So that was a little bit of Didi's rant. You can go to his page and watch the full live. I'll link it in the description. Now hear me out, okay? How many times have we heard Candace Owens say the same thing? She gets the most crap when she's close to an answer, right? Think about Mitch Snow. What happened with him? Before Candace Owens even had Mitch on the show, she was getting threatened. After Candace Owens had him on the show, she got a lot of hate, threats, all of that. But I mean, that's not new to Candace, right? However, what did a lot of people do with Mitch? They went back to his past, baby mama drama, ex-wife this, ex-wife that, military this, wasn't in the military that. They went in on him. Now, obviously, we cannot all 100% say that Blake is telling the truth. He is not lying about anything at all. He blah, blah, blah. We can't do that. I'm not going to sit here and do that either. Okay, I'm just commenting on what I'm seeing. But Blake is basically saying the same thing. He's saying that he feels that he is close to something because he's getting the threats. His family is being threatened. There's a lot of hate. And what are they doing? Digging through his past. Oh, he's a felon and he's this and he's that. We can't just say that that Candace and Mitch are on the right track because this is how the public or people a part of TPUSA or affiliated with them, this is how they are acting now. So yeah, Candace is onto something. And then look at Blake and say, no, he's not onto anything. He's not. He's probably lying. When the same exact thing is happening to him that happened to Mitch Snow. I don't know if either one of them is telling the truth, to be so honest with you. I'm really just sitting back with popcorn, just kind of watching and seeing what happens next. But seriously though, my honest opinion is this. Blake gives me the vibe, and I'm not saying this is the truth, so I'm going to say allegedly, I'm just saying in my opinion. He gives me the vibe of someone that could have had something to do with it. And when I say it, I mean the whole Charlie situation. I know that's far-fetched. Just hear me out. Blake, if you really listen to this man, and he is very well versed. Okay. You know, a lot of people have already noticed his equipment that he has around him, his setups. And also, I would love to know what line of work he's in or was in, you know, where the first thing that comes to your mind is to check flight radar. I mean, other creators didn't do this until later. I can see why Candace did it, but this is kind of her lane. But you check flight radar, you're pretty much the first person that has any insight on Egyptian planes. Can you imagine him having something to do with it or knowledge of it for whatever reason in the world? And something happened. Can you imagine if there was like a fallout with anyone that was actually involved and they shunned him? They just completely stopped talking to him, didn't want anything to do with him, just completely cut him off. We know and we see how Blake reacts when someone does not reply to him, when someone doesn't speak to him, when someone doesn't take his side. He goes just off the edge. So can you imagine if that were the case where he got shunned and he's like, okay, bet. Don't forget, guys, I know exactly how you went about this plan. I know exactly who did it, and I know exactly what happened, and I'm going to put it all out. And maybe he thought that putting it out would give him more exposure in a sense where people would see it and automatically believe it without a shadow of a doubt that Brian Harpole was twisting knobs and doing this and pulling and pressing whatever. And because of his own actions and his own emotions and his own reactions, the public kind of turned against him, and he's pissed, and he's like, this was not a part of the plan. So then he tries a different avenue. Let's go to the source. Who's close? Who talks to Candace on X a lot? Who does that? Well, Mel, Village Crazy Lady. Let's reach out to her. Maybe I can, with luck, get in touch with Candace. Boom, now you're in touch with Candace. Now Candace has the video, doesn't have the video, whatever the case may be. They did have a conversation. He did show her the video. And he expected Candace to talk about his theory. That's why we're all saying, what the heck? Candace can talk about whatever she wants to talk about on her channel. It's her channel. Why are you so upset that she doesn't want to talk about your theory? We're all trying to figure that out. So now Candace cuts him off. And he loses it. In true Blake Bednarz fashion. Because in my last video, I said, if this is what you truly believe, this is what you saw, this is what you see, just rely on your own channel. You put it out. You put out every frame by frame like you've been doing. And in the event that you are truly correct, you win. So what is this big obsession with getting it to Candace? You keep it. You keep the information. You put it out. You don't need anybody else. He's well known enough at this point in this community as to where if we find out that he is correct, everything he said was true, at the very end of the trial, it was an explosive and it did this and Brian Harpole did that and blah, blah. If that happens, that's going to shut a lot of people up and bring a lot of people towards Blake to give him his kudos, to give him his, hey, my bad. I was wrong. You're right. But instead, Blake has tantrums because someone else won't put it out for him. So yeah, instead of throwing a tantrum, put your own work out. Put your own idea out. Don't throw a tantrum because Candace Owens won't talk about your theory, and now you're saying that she's an op because she won't talk about it. And just to be clear, everything that I'm saying is 100% alleged. It's just an opinion. Can you imagine this happening? Not saying that that is the case. I'm not saying that Blake had anything to do with it at all. It's just, hey, can you imagine? But anyway, my dog is crying. I have to take her out. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Please don't forget to hype the video, comment, like, share, but definitely comment. I want to know your thoughts. I just can't be great, but I want to know your thoughts. And also don't forget to click the join button to become a member. Until next time, this has been In Cahoots Podcast. Peace.